Yes, welcome back to the Hobbit Book Musings, Chapter 11. That means we only got through today, only 6 chapters to go. What's next after this series? And Green Gables. Yes, you heard me correctly. And in Green Gables. So anyway, Chapter 11, On the Doorstep. In 2 days, they rode right up the Long Lake, passed out into the river running. Now they could all see a lonely mountain, towering grim and tall before them. The stream was strong, and they were going slow. At the end of the third day, some miles up the river, they drew into the left, or western bank, and disembarked. Here they were joined by the horses, and other positions and necessaries, and the ponies for their own use that had been sent to meet them. They packed what they could on the ponies, and the rest was made to a store under a tent. But none of the men in the town was able, even for the night, so near the shadow of the mountain. Not anyway till the songs have come true, said they. It was easier to believe in the dragon, less easy to believe in or in these all parts. Indeed, their story said, no need of vanguard, for all the land so lit and empty. So the escort left them, making out swiftly down the river and short pass, although the night was already drawing on. They spent a cold and lonely night, and their spirits fell. The next day they set out again. On land, and Mibel well behind, he seen another pony, having laid it beside him. Others were some way ahead, looking at a slow road, for there were no paths. They made northwest, slanting away from the river running, drawing ever nearer and nearer to a great spur of the mountain, and was flung out southwards towards them. It was a very journey and quite a stealthy one. There was no laughter or sound of harps, and brighter hopes, which had stirred in their hearts at the singing of old songs by the lake, died away into a pallid gloom. They knew they were drawing near to the end of the journey, and that it might be a very horrible end. The land about them grew weak and barren. Now once, as Florian told them, it had been green and fair. There was little grass, and before long, there was neither bush nor tree, only broken and black ended stumps. The big of ones long vanished. They were to come to the location of the dragon, and they were come at waning of the year. They reached the skirts of the mountain, all the same, without meeting any danger or anything the dragon. Other than the wilderness, he made about his lair. The mountain lay dark and silent before them, and ever higher above them. They made their first camp on the western side of the great southern spur. Which ended in the height called Raven Hill. On this, there have been no watch posts. They daren't not climb it yet. It is too exposed. Before setting out to thrust the western spurs of the mountain for the hidden door, on which all their hopes rested, Warren sent out a scouting expedition to spy out the land to the south where the front gate stood. For this purpose, were those Ballin and Feely and Keely, and with them went Bibble. They marched under the dragons, high cliffs, to the feet of Raven Hill. There the river at the lane, right look over the Valley of Dale, turned from the man on this road to the lake, following swift noisily. This bank was very rocky, tall, steep above the stream, and gazing out from it over the narrow water, foaming and splashing among many boulders they could see in the wide valley, shadowed by the mountain's arms, ravens of ancient houses, towers, and walls. Dear lads, all that left of Dale, said Bowen. The mountain sides were green with woods, all the sheltered valley rich and pleasant in the days when the bells rang in that town. Her lip was sad and grim. She said this. They had been wonderful earnest companions on the day the dragon came. They did not dare to follow the river much further towards the gate, but they went on beyond the end of the southern spur, till lying hidden behind a rock they could look out, see the dark cavernous opening the great cliff wall between the arms of the mountain. Out of it, the waters of the Rain River sprang, and out of it, two keen, ice steam and dark smoke. Nothing moved in the waste. They put the value per pour on the water, and every now and again a black, anonymous crow. The only sound was the sound of the stony water, and every now and again, a harsh croak of a bird. Wallen shuddered. "Let us return," he said. I do no good to you. I don't like these dark woods. They look like spies of evil. The dragon is still alive in the halls under the mountain then. Imagine so when the smoke, said the hobbit. That doesn't prove it, said Bolin. Though I don't doubt you are right. But he might be gone away sometime. And might be lying out on the mountainside keeping watch. And still I expect smokes and steams will come out of the gates. All the hills and they must be here with us. All weak. With such gloomy thoughts, well, I have about croaking crows above them. They make their way back to the camp. Only in June may have been guests in the fair house at Mud. And though autumn was now coming towards winter, at blessed time now seemed years ago. They were known dustless waste without hope of future help. They were at the end of the journey, but as far as ever it seemed from the end of their quest. None of them had much spirit left. Now, strange to say, Mr. Baggins had more than the others. He would often borrow Thorin's map, gaze at it, wondering over the runes and the message on the moonlight. Elrod had read. It was he who made the Dorses begin the Indian search on the western slopes for the secret door. They moved their camp then to a lone valley, narrower than a great deal in the south, where the gates of the river stood. All the whispers of the men. Through these here, thrust forward, west, on the mainmast, on steep-sided ridges. They fell ever downwards, towards the plain. On this western side, there were fewer signs of the dragon's wandering feet. There was some grass for the ponies. On this western camp, traveled all day by cliff and wall until the sun began to sink towards the forest. Day by day, they told it in parties, trudging for paths up the mountainside. If the map was true, somewhere high above the cliff at the valley's head was standing the secret door. Day by day, they came back to the camp without success. But at last, unexpectedly, they found what they were seeking. Me, Kitty, and the hobbit went back one day down the valley and scrambled on the tumbled rocks in the southern corner. About midday, Creeping behind a great stone, stood alone like a pillar. Bibble came on. What looked like rough steps went upwards. On these, sadly he and the horses ran traces of a narrow track. I've been lost often. He discovered they wandered to the top of the southern ridge and brought them at last to some narrow ledge, which turned out was the face of a man. Looking down, they saw that they were at the top of the cliff, the valley's head. And were gazing down onto their own camp below. Standing clean to the rocky wall on their right, they went in single file along the ledge till the wall opened, and they turned in to a little steep, walled bay, grassy forded, still and quiet. This entrance was they had found could not be seen from below because of the overhang in the cliff, nor from further off because it was so small it looked like a dark crack and no more. It was not the cave and was open to the sky above, but at its inner end a flat roll rose up, that in the lower part, close to the ground, was as smooth and upright as Mason's block. But at a joint, no grievance to be seen. No sign was there of pulsing till or vessel, nor any sign of bar, bolt, or keyhole. Yet they did not doubt they had found the door at last. They beat on it, they thrust and pushed at it, but implored it to move. They spoke sirens and broken spells of opening, unstirred. At last, tired out, they rested on the grass at his feet. Then in the evening again a long time down. There was excitement in the camp that night. In the morning they prepared to move once more. Only Bummer Fur and Bummer were left behind to guard the ponies. And just stores, so they brought with them from the river. Let us went down the valley and up the newly found path, until to narrow ledge. Along this they could carry no bundles or packs. So narrow and breathless was it, with a full 150 feet beside them. 2 sharp rocks below, but each of them took a good coil of rope, down tight about his waist, until at last, without mishap, they reached the little grassy bay. There they made their third camp, hauling up what they needed from below with their ropes. Down the sand, they were able to easily level one of the more active doses to Zucchini, and seems as news as there was, on take a share in the guard below. on Bumafla was hold up the light camp. Wilmer, when that come up, either the rope or the path. I am 2 foot with such playworks, he said. I shouldn't dizzy and try on my beard. Then you'll be 13 again. And 9 ropes are to ascend for my weight. Lucky for him, that was not true, as you would see. In the meanwhile, some of them explored the ridge beyond the opening and found a path that led higher and higher onto the men. But they did not dare venture very far that way. Nor was there much use in it. Up there, the silence reigned. Held by no bird or sound, except of the wind and the canyons of stone. They spoke low and never called her saying, for danger brooded in every rock. The others over there, the others were busy, but as they grew at the door had no much success. They were too eager to trouble about the runes and the moon letters. I tried without resting to discover where exactly in the smooth face of the rock the door was hidden. I bought picks and tools and I swords on Lake Town. And at first they tried to use these, but when they struck the stone, the handles splintered and their arms queerly. The steel heads broke or bent like lead. Anyway, they saw it clearly. Although good against the magic that had shut this door, they grew terrified to the echoing noise. Mabel found sitting on the doorstep, lonesome and wearisome. It was not a doorstep, of course, really, but they used to call the little classy space between the wall and opening doorstep in fun. Remembering Bible's words long ago at the unexpected party in his hobbit hole. When he said they could sit in the doorstep when they thought of something. I didn't think they did, and wandered aimlessly about. And glummer they became. Their spirits had risen a little discovery of the path, but now they sank into their boots. And yet they would not give it up and go away. The hobbit was no longer much better than the dwarves. He would do nothing but sit with his back to the rock face, stay away, west through the opening, over the cliff, over the wirelands to Blackwall, Mirkwood, and the distances beyond. In which he sometimes thought he cast glimpses of the misty mountains, aren't far. And Dorsey asked him what he was doing. He answered, "You said sitting on the doorstep, thinking it would be my job. Not to mention getting inside. I am saying and thinking. I am afraid he was not thinking much the job. But what lay beyond, a blue distance, the quiet western land, the hill, and the hobbit hole under it. A large grey stone lay in the center of the grass, and he stared moodily at it and rest the great snails. They seemed to let the house shut in bay with its walls of cool rock, and many of them huge size, falling slowly, stickily, one side. Tomorrow, against Leslie Vodum, said Florian one day. They went to concert the autumn, said Blumenthal. One next year to that, said Bolin. I'm beautiful until they hang down a cliff to the valley before anything happens here. What is the burglar doing for us? Since he has got the visible rain and hot up, he is especially excellent performer now. I am beginning to think I might go for the front gate and spy things out a bit. Bibble heard this. The horses were on the rocks, just about the enclosure where he was sitting. And good gracious, he thought. So that is what they're beginning to think. Is it? It's always pulled me that that's to get them out of their difficulties. At least since the visit left. Whatever am I going to do? I might have known something dreadful would happen to me in the end. I don't think I could bear to see that unhappy valley of Dale again. And as for that stinging geet. That night he was very miserable and hardly slept. Next day, the horses all went wandering off in various directions. Some were exercising the ponies down below. Some were revolving about the mountainside. Old day Bibble had glimmering a grassy bay, facing the stone. Where I was, good and now opening. I had a queer feeling, dreamed something. Perhaps the wizard would suddenly come back today, he thought. And he lifted his head. He could see a glimpse of the distant forest. As the sun turned west, there was a gleam of yellow upon his far roof. As if the light caught less pale leaves. Soon he saw the outer spot of light. Soon he saw the outer spot of the sun sinking towards the level of his eyes. He went to the opening, and there, pale and faint, was a very new moon out them in the earth. At that very moment, he heard a sharp crack behind him. Laying on the grassy stone, in the grass, was an enormous stretch. And then he called back. His pale yellow beast wiggled dark spots back at it. Caught a snail. The knock came in on the stone. Crack, crack. Suddenly Bibble understood. There ain't no danger, and he stood on the ledge and nailed the doors, shining and waving. Those who were nearest came tumbling over the rocks. As fast as they could along the ledge to him, wondering what on earth was the matter. The others had to be hauled up the ropes as if with blood. Of course, he was asleep. Quickly, Bibble explained. They all fell silent. The hobbit, standing by the great stone, and the dwarves and Maggie watching impatiently. The sun sank lower and lower, and their hopes fell. It sank into about a red cloud and disappeared. The voices groaned. Still Bibble stood almost without moving. The little moon was dripping to the horizon. The evening was coming on, and suddenly, when their hope was lowest, a red ray of the sun escaped like a finger from the rent in the cloud, gleaming like straight through the opening into the bay, fell on the smooth rock face. Will rushed, which had been watching from a height, ouch, beady eyes, neck crooked on one side, gave a sudden thrill. There was a rock crack. A flake of rock split from the wall and fell. A hole appeared, suddenly about 3 feet from the ground. Quickly, trembling, least the chance to fade, the dwarves rushed to the rock and pushed in vain. The key! The key! Cried Bibble. Where is Fulton? Fulton hurried up. The key! Shouted Bibble. The key! They went with the map. Try you now while there's still time. Then Fulton stepped up, drew the key on his chain from around his neck, fitted it to the hole. Fitted and turned. Snap. The gleam went out, the sun sank, the moon was gone, and evening sprang into the sky. Now they all pushed together, and the late part the rock wall gave away. One straight cracks appeared and widened. A door 5 feet up and 3 boarded was at 9. Slowly, without a sound, spun inwards. As he nest, darkness flowed out like a vapor from the hole in the man's side. And deep darkness, in which nothing could be seen, lay before their eyes. The eye and mouth leaned in and down. So that is chapter 11, guys. Next time, chapter 12. Goodbye.